Hey y'all, my name is Phoenix, and today we have another unboxing from Puzzlcrate. This is the April 2024 box, so let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got. Alright. Oh boy. Alright, so we got that, we got one more in here. And let's see what we got here. So first up, we got the double mirror cube. What's better than one mirror cube? Two mirror cubes. These two mirror cubes have been joined together, which is also known as a Siamese modification. It becomes a scrambled mess after just a few turns, and it's solved by shape rather than color. Not all 3x3 algorithms can be used due to the bandaging of the puzzle. Some pieces can stick out pretty far, so please turn with caution as to not break any pieces. Otherwise, this is an extremely smooth and fun puzzle. And then lastly, we have the Jewel Cube. Does this puzzle look familiar? If so, you've probably solved a face-turning octahedron before. This puzzle is a truncated version of the FTO, meaning tips were removed and replaced with gold stickers. You may think this doesn't change the solve, but it actually introduces parity, which is what we call an unsolvable scenario. Without the tips, it's possible to put a color on the wrong side. This makes the puzzle unsolvable in the end, and you'll need to restart the solve. We hope you enjoy this unique puzzle. Okay, so that is a very interesting scenario. So let's go ahead and start off with this one. So this one is actually pretty unique because I do not have any sort of fuse/Siamese modifications. So this is my first one ever, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. I do not have any idea on how the solve is going to go. And that logo sticker is pretty poorly placed. Look at that. I really hope I don't scratch this. This thing is wrapped up like, I'm not trying to get into a safe here. I'm just trying to open this thing up. Why is it wrapped so tightly? Okay, I think I finally got one side of it free, and I gotta get the other side off. Oh my goodness. Come on, please. Thank you. Alright, finally got it. Well, let's set this back here. Alright, so just looking at it, again, I don't know who, let me see if I can fix that actually. Alright, there we go. So yeah, this is a very interesting puzzle. I have never had anything like this before. And so I'm not entirely sure exactly how this is gonna solve, but I am definitely interested in trying it out. So basically, since this is more of a Siamese cube, I can turn it in these directions, but I cannot turn it in this direction at all. So as you can see, if you look really closely, you can actually see where the pieces were fused together. So, like I said, I have no idea on how to solve this, but I think the people who made this did a good job at fusing the right pieces together, because it doesn't seem like, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it can get blocked, and it starts forming illegal turns, so I'm gonna try not to have that happen. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and scramble it up right now, and I think I'll come learn how to solve it, and then I'll finish this video out later. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start scrambling it up. Alright, that's one. Let's get the other one now. Alright, that looks insane. Like I said, I have absolutely no idea how to solve this at this moment right now. So I'll go ahead and learn how to do this, and then I will come back at a later date and I will solve this on camera. So that means this video is going to be a bit late to come out, but it will be okay in the end. So let's go ahead and move on to the other puzzle that we got. If you guys saw me in the past, you will have known that I unboxed the regular face-turning octahedron, which was in a very recent crate, but this is entirely new, and wow, I actually really like the way this looks. If you guys, okay, so you guys are probably gonna have to think about it for a second, but if you guys remember the Diane Gem Cube series, that's exactly what this looks like right here. It looks like this was a part of the Diane Gem line, where you could turn faces like this, but you could also turn like these square faces, but that's not possible here. And it turns really nicely. I like the way this looks, and I really do enjoy how this solves. But if there's one thing I've learned from puzzles that have these gold stickers on them because they were truncated, it is, like the card said, that there could be some sort of parodies, which would make the solve a lot harder. And yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scramble this one up as well, but I'm not gonna solve it right now. I will come back later and I will solve both of these puzzles on camera. So that is gonna mean that this video is gonna be a little bit late, but at the same time, I think it's gonna be okay. So I do apologize for the delay, but I just wanted to make sure that I was at least able to do these on camera for you guys. So I hope you forgive me on that one. Either way, I am excited to get into this. I think it looks really nice. And yeah, I think even scrambling it up, I wouldn't say it looks as nice scrambled. I think I like it solved, but I think this will be pretty fun to solve. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Well, it has now been nearly 2 months since you saw what just happened. I really apologize for the way procrastination just kind of hit me right there. And at the time, I really just was not feeling it. I don't know what exactly got into me, but now I am here to get off of my lazy butt and move on. So now we are finally going to go ahead and get around to solving both of these. I've scrambled them both up. I have solved both of these prior, so I pretty much know the technique. This one I especially was able to figure out. This one took me a little bit, and I did have to look up something for the top layer, but it has only been solved once. I may have forgotten that since then, especially since I also got some lucky PLLs there. But we'll see if fortune favors us again this time. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get started on solving the jewel cube. So in my experience with solving this, before I go ahead and solve it, just kind of actually describe what it's like. It actually can be solved slightly differently from this because you don't have to worry about these corners, which are basically these guys on the face-turning octahedron. Because you don't have to worry about that, you actually can go ahead and just solve the edges normally. Normally you would have to do a bunch of soons to put the edges in place, but you don't have to do that here because these guys don't move around. Well, even if they do move around, they don't really affect anything. So really all you need to do is just kind of remember the color scheme, which is not that hard if you already have one of these. So I guess let's just go ahead and get started. So once again, we're gonna go ahead and start with the edges. And then once you get the edges done, you can pretty much just solve it normally, but you can even use some Pyraminx techniques to solve the inner centerpieces. And the card said that there would be parity. However, I actually have noticed no cases of any sort of parity appearing from this, so that in itself makes it also a lot more manageable. So because of that, we can go ahead and just solve it without having to really worry about too much. So it's a little hard to recognize what's going on, but we've got pretty much this whole block as well as this guy. Let's go ahead and get orange done because that's what's here. We need this guy, so, and that also takes care of really all of that, but I need this guy. And then we are officially finished with that. And so if you look, we have all of our edges solved. Now we can go ahead and start working on our centers, and through luck we actually were able to get quite a lot done. So that is extremely helpful. And then as you can see, this one right here, we actually can flip it completely. And we can also kind of do the same here. So if we just kind of do like a standard Pyraminx algorithm right there, we actually ended up flipping these two bars right here, and that actually put 3 of our centers in place, as you can see there. So we're just going to kind of keep going until we can't anymore. This one is another one that we can do that too. And that once again put 3 more in place. Now I don't think we can do it anymore. I don't see any more that can be swapped. So we're just going to go ahead and get this done as if you would solve it normally. just like that. And now we're down to only these last two, which only requires us to do this. And there we go. The jewel cube is now solved. So overall, very fun solve. Not too hard. Again, very comparable to this if you know how to do it. It's just slightly easier because of the missing corners. However, the Siamese mirror cubes are not going to be anywhere near as easy. These are going to be significantly more difficult to solve. Now, normally, I would actually go ahead and solve this more thin layer on top first. That's usually how I solve the mirror cube. But because the really thick bottom layer is, it's the one that is fused to each other, I'm actually going to have to do that one first, which is not usually what I would do. However, I can still easily make sure that all the centers are in place. I need to be careful though, because I could accidentally bandage the cube if I'm not careful. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and solve it like kind of one layer at a time. We're going to go layer by layer. We can pretty much do like beginner's method or something like that, and that's fine. But when we get to the top layer, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it over after that and then work on the other one. And let's just see if I remember how to do this. And I'm not going to worry about the center orientation. I can always just fix that later if I feel the need to. So I think this is the one that we need. Yes, it is. So I can just do things like that, turn that over, and there we go. This whole bar is now solved. Now we need to find the last edge, which I believe that's not it. I believe it's this one. So we can do that. Turn this over, and then there we go. Now our bottom cross on this one is solved. And once again, we're gonna go ahead and do the middle layers for both of them first before moving on to the other, so that we don't end up bandaging the other one. All right, so that corner is in. I'm just gonna go ahead and get corners in before I work on edges. And I believe the other corner is right here, so we can just do the reverse of that. So now getting these edges in is gonna be a little bit more difficult. So now I need to figure out exactly where each of these go. So I know this one can go right here. And I think we got lucky enough and the edge is already lined up. So that's good. That already has taken care of that. Now we're onto the top layer. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side done. So as you can see, this edge is already in place. There we go. We've now got that in place. So we're now into oil for both of them. And for this, I'm gonna need to, I don't know. I don't remember how all right, I think I got it. So I think here's what they did. There we go. And then that changed it to this. And then if I am right, there we go. That went ahead and did that. Now we can use just soons for this, but let's go ahead and flip it over and do that again. So it's that move, and then a sexy, and then we undo those moves. And this one is easy enough to do. This is just gonna be a couple soons, so. And then we do that again. And then it looks like we got an easy enough algorithm. We got a U-perm for this. That can be very easily done with just R and U moves. Now, as for this one, we're gonna have to do a couple more soons. And then there we go. We once again got another U-perm, so that is easy enough to do. And then there we go. That one is now solved. And then it looks like we're gonna have to do, I think, the same thing on this side. And the puzzle is now solved. So yeah, this is actually a really, really fun puzzle to solve. I did have to relearn the algorithm for OLL. However, that really is not that much of an issue. We did get pretty lucky with PLL, so that's also pretty fun. So yeah, I think it was a really fun time. So let's go ahead and just bring everything back in frame. So here's what we got out of the April Puzzlcrate this year. This was really fun. These are two puzzles that I did not have, which was very nice. And same can be said about the May Puzzlcrate, which would go up at the same time as this, because I'm gonna make sure that they just both go up at the same time. But yeah, overall, it was very fun solving both of these. It was nice to learn how to finally do Siamese cubes. This is actually the first Siamese cube I have in my collection, and this is just absolutely pretty. This has to be one of my favorite puzzles that I've gotten out of my Puzzlcrate. So yeah, I'm definitely very happy with this, and hopefully this was also interesting enough to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more from me in the future, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss any new uploads. That will be it for me for this video. I will see you next time. Farewell.